Hello everyone and welcome to Optimal Training Group. In this video I'm going to be kind of doing a little bit of what I did last time, but maybe with a little few different types of functionality in the forum. So for my class that I teach, we did this list here, travel request, and we created a Power Automate that took you through two levels of approval, where it was a team lead and to the manager, and if it got rejected at any level, email notification was sent to the user. So today we're not going to be doing Power Automate. We're going to be talking about Power Apps in this. So this is the form new. We're going to be customizing this form here. We want it to look a little bit better, a little bit more functionality. So let's go ahead and do that. Some calculations, some date calculations. So let's do that. So I'm going to come over here, Power Automate, and I'm going to customize form. So let that come up. All right, so here's our form. Let's skip this. So the first thing that I want to do in this form, I'm going to come up here and I want to change the orientation of this. I want to make this a little bit wider. If you remember from my last video, I said that you can have your app shown in a browser or it can be a mobile app. So I want this to be a little bit wider. So I'm going to come over to File, let's go to Settings, and then I'm going to go to Display, and I'm going to change this orientation from Portrait to Landscape. Apply. All right, so now it should be a little bit bigger, wider, as you can see here. So now we have some room to play with. So let me decrease this just a little bit. So now what I want to do is I'm going to select this SharePoint form so that way I can highlight the whole thing, and I'm going to let's decrease the height of this just a tad bit. I'm going to add a label above this. So I'm going to go Insert Label. There you go. Okay. Let me do this again. All right. So you can kind of see how both are highlighted, meaning it's kind of snapped in place. All right. So now let me select on text. I'm going to open up this property pane over here, and don't forget, most of the things you can do here, you can also do it over here. I'm going to do it here because it's much easier. Some of the more complex things you can do with this formula over here. So I'm going to come over here and I am going to change the font to, let me say, Verdana. I'm going to change this to 25. I'm going to bold this. And what I'm going to do is I am going to do this. And I'm going to say, let's change the text here. I'm going to say travel request form. All right. So then I'm going to scroll down a little bit and I'm going to go to color, the fill, and let's change the background to, let's say this. And then it's kind of hard to read that text, so let's change the color to white. Okay, there you go. That's a little bit better. Let's go here again, my SharePoint form, so I can select the form, and then I want to change the background color here as well. So fill, and then let's do something. Let me see this here. Okay, that's not too bad. Excellent. Okay, so it's looking okay. Looking okay. What I want to do now is I would like to remove some of these fields that I don't need. Let's see, like these down here, I don't need any of these fields here, so I want to remove all of that. So I'm going to come into Edit, scroll all the way down, and I am going to one by one remove all these. It's quite a few, so I'm going to pause and remove. Okay, so now I've removed fields that don't need to be a part of my form, and now I just need to rearrange some of my fields. So for example, this requester needs to be up, so move up. Okay, so reason for travel, travel dates, travel duration, airline, estimated airfare, estimated hotel costs. Excellent. This is exactly what I want. So let's do that. And so now what I'm going to do is I can barely read these fields here, these labels. So I'm going to increase the font size on the label. I'm going to say Arial, and then let's say maybe 15 maybe. Okay, there you go. So I have to go through and do that for each one of these. 15, I'm gonna make this Arial, and I'm gonna show you a different way to do this in another video, but let me pause and do all this. Okay, that's a little bit better. So now it's bolded. So the next thing I want to do is um, I'm going to select the SharePoint form again, and what I want to do is I want to change the column to 2 columns. So 2 columns. So there you go. That's exactly what I want. And what I'm going to do next is I am going to, this is getting annoying, so I'm going to come over here so I can get rid of that. You should never have these different types of warnings or errors in your form. So let's explain a little bit. So this is the problem here. Is I think it's like it's what is called like a delegation error. So if you, let me see what the warning says. Warning. So what you can do is if you click here, um, here's the warning. Delegation warning. The highlighted part of this formula might not work correctly on large data sets. The first operation is not supported by this connector. Okay. The data set might not be able to process the formula and might return an incomplete data set. So it says if your data exceeds 500 record limit but contains less than 2,000 records, try resetting the limit. Okay, so as you all know, I only have about maybe 10 records. So what this is saying is that if my record is over between, if it exceeds 500, it could be a problem. Oh, there it is. So it could be a problem with a large, it could have issues with a large data set. So what I want to do is, because this is trying to pull back, I'm assuming maybe 500. So I'm going to change this to, let's say, default. And what this is saying is whatever records that are in there, if I have 5 or 10, that's the default. That's what I want to bring back. So as you can see, the little warning is gone. So now with that said, the next thing that I need to do, okay, so let's preview the form. Okay, it's looking kind of good, right? So what I want to happen now is these dates, it needs to calculate the duration, how many days this travel vacation is. Now this doesn't work. So if I come in here, you see it says 23. If I come in here and I change this to sometime in, let's say August 26th, as you can see, the date still, the days still remain 23. So I want to change that. So let's go ahead and change that really quick. So what I want to do now is I'm going to come down here in my form. First, let me find out what the name of this is. So I'm going to click here and it says, let me expand this. So the name of this is data card value 4 and the name of this is, should be 5. Okay, data card value 5. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to use in the text area, which is not allowing me to click in here. So what I need to do is unlock this. So if you come over here on the right hand side, click advanced, unlock. Now I can click in this function box here. So I'm going to use a function called Diff. It's a PowerApp function. There's a whole Microsoft page on the different functions that can be used in PowerApps. So the way the Diff works is you go dates, diff, and then you put in the start date, and it tells you right up here, see, start date and then end date. So date diff, and I think the card I said was data card value 4, card value. So it's this one, dot selected date, and it kind of has IntelliSense and tells you what you can add next. So selected date, comma, and then I need to add my end date, and my end date field is data card value 5. Card value 5. Make sure you select it. Dot selected value, select the date. There you go. So now, as you can see, it changes. So let me come in here. Let me make that a little bit bigger. So let's say, okay, 14. Let's bold this. Okay, and let's make it a different color. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, nope, not right here. Okay, so let's go and look at this. So there's our day. So let's change this here. I'm going to change this to, let's say, the 19th. Okay, and I'm going to come here and let's change this to September 17th. Okay, and as you can see, it changed the date, the days. So this is the travel duration, 60. So we got that working. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to add a label here. And what happens is when they enter in an amount here and an amount here, this label will capture the estimated total. So let's add our label, and let's come down, and I want this label to, let's expand the whole form. Okay. And we're going to come in here and we're going to say estimated total. And then we're going to do a ampersand. And what we're going to say is we want this, I think, what is this? This is called our data card value 8, and this one is data card value 9. Okay, that's easy enough. So let's come back here. And so estimated total. I'm going to put a dollar sign. Well, let me do it without it first so you can see. And then we're going to use this symbol called, it's an ampersand. And the ampersand allows you to concatenate, meaning to merge or to join strings together or other things together. So we're going to say that. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to say data card value 8. Oops. Plus data card value 9. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Let me go back. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so let's do that again. So data card value 8. Do that. Okay, there you go. And then let's do plus data card value 9. And there you go. Okay. So now let's come in. See, it says 0. So let's do this. So let's center that. Let's make this a little bit bigger so we can see. Let's change this to Verdana. And that's it. So now when we come up here, let's go and test this out. So we have our everything filled out. So let's come in here, 60-day vacation. Let's say the airfare is $17.50, and then the hotel stay for 60 days, let's say is $3,500. All right, but we want to have a dollar sign here. So let's go back and let's put in a dollar sign. So let's do this, and right here where we do all the concatenation, you're going to put a dollar sign. Oops, dollar sign. All right, so there's a dollar sign. So, and there we have it. Okay, now, so it looks good. So now let's publish it. We're going to go to File. You can put in the version note here if you want to. Save. And then publish to SharePoint. Publish to SharePoint. So now that it's published, now we got to click on this link here. It'll take us back to SharePoint, our SharePoint list. All right, so let's click on new and see what it looks like. Now look at that. So let's fill this out. So I am the requester. So I'm the requester. Travel. I want to travel, let's say to Bora, Bora, Bora. And the travel start date, we're gonna go, let's say August. Let's say all the way to October. Airline, I don't know if Southwest goes there, but Southwest, why not? 1535. Oh, I didn't put in my end date. Let me put in my end date. I thought I did, but I didn't click OK probably. So let's do this. Okay. So, oh, my end date here, my start date is past my end date, so that's why it has a negative. So what I want to do is, let me go back. Oops. Let's go to July, and let's say July 19th. Okay. Now we can fix that later. We're gonna fix that where if if this date is less than this date, then we need to have some type of warning. But 67 days, and then here we have, let's add in our hotel costs. Let's say it's going to be 35.50, and as you can see, it calculates it for us. So look at that, estimated. So now what we can do is if we save it, boom, and there's all our information just added a few seconds ago, as it says estimated. Now we didn't get our estimated total because we don't have that here, but we can always add it here and have a calculated column. So I can come here in my SharePoint and I can do a calculated column. I can say estimated total, and I can say, what was it, estimated airfare plus estimated total, estimated hotel cost, excuse me. And I want this to be currency, and let's say decimal, say 2 decimal places. All right, and then let's click OK. And if I scroll down, and there's my estimated cost. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it made sense. I hope it showed you of the powerful things that you can do within this PowerApps. As you can see, it's way better than InfoPath. You can develop really, really quickly. So this is how you do use customize. In the future, we'll go over Canvas apps. It's almost the same thing. You just can't get to it from your list because it's a Canvas app. So we'll go over that in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. Bye.